Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Hurhey Zafra, and if you're new here in my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. And I'm so excited to share with you guys on this very first vlog about what I do as a financial advisor, and the topic will revolve around emergency fund. I know that this is a very timely and relevant topic, especially with what's happening with the world, mama. So for most of us guys, this pandemic has really caught us off guard. It blew us out of proportion. We were not really prepared at all. Businesses were affected. Some of us, or a lot of us, have lost income. So now we're slowly getting into GCQ. We're able to go out na. Di na bawal lumabas. Hopefully, when we can recover from, the threats of Madam Coronavirus, we can, slowly and gradually, start our emergency fund. Unsa di ay ng emergency fund, di ba? We would also ask, how will I start putting up my emergency fund, or how much will I be putting into my emergency fund? So those questions we will answer as we go along. But before I go, guys, before I go further, I hope you be able to share this to your other friends. So we would help other people nga makakitaan ng video, and they would be financially informed, and they themselves will be financially literate, because guys, been really taught or educated about our managing our finances even back when we were still at school, diba? For some siguro, if they're majoring on about finances, good, probably they've discussed about budgeting and all of that, but kita nga wala gid ana until siguro we are able to talk to someone like me, like a financial advisor, who will be able to discuss with you thoroughly about budgeting, about the financial planning. Then you'd be able to understand why it's really important to have an emergency fund. Pero disclaimer lang, guys, the ideas that I'll be sharing are the things I learned when I joined Film Life as a financial advisor. Some of them may not be applicable to you, or siguro you just don't accept or internalize that it is applicable, because I think this is applicable to everyone. Also, guys, very importantly, we have to have a clear purpose as to why we're doing this, because in everything we do, dapat we know the reason behind it. If you do it on your own will, because you love doing it, then it becomes fruitful, it becomes productive. You kinda muraganahan ka mubuhat sa mga butang nga you think is really good for you, and you know why you're doing it, diba? Because the signs of the times now, we have a new normal. It's different now. So if you're doing the things you've been doing before and it's not working out, then there's no other way but to change the things that you do normally and start doing what's new now, which is preparing for emergencies like this. And best way to do that is to have a financial plan, a financial game plan nga would lead us to achieving financial freedom, financial independence, and reaching your goals in life. So guys, like I said earlier, so we have to have a clear purpose as to why we're setting up an emergency fund. Diba, we all have our goals in life. We want to travel, if you're single, or if you have kids, you have children, you want to send your kids to a good school. You want to provide them a good foundation as they start life, or you want to buy a new house, get a new car, those things. I mean, we have a lot of goals in life. It can either be short-term goals or long-term goals. But for the sake of getting into the hang of it, like the habit of saving, we can start with short-term goals, like to travel abroad, or to to go and buy this one gadget. Siguro, it wouldn't take you how many years to do that, as long as it's smart. It's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. But more importantly, ang kuha lang yun is, ang kuha lang yun day, mura ko kasi kuha, Ellen, abdana na. So, mga zong, mga zay, yun na lang yun na siya. We just have to make sure nga, we know what we want, specific ayo, even the amount of it, butangan na itong price tag, and also timeline. Dapat we have a deadline as to when are we going to achieve our goals. Kay if wala lang tayo deadline, then nara siya diha and I left. Kidding aside, guys. So seriously, emergency fund, it means nga dapat na kay pundo nga kwarta, which is equivalent to 3 to 6 months of your monthly salary or living expenses. For example, if your monthly limpyo na nimo for a month is 20,000, 20 times 3 is 60. Yeah, 60,000. So you have to have 60,000 readily available in case na emergencies. Ngano day, what are some of the emergencies like right now with the pandemic? I mean, nawad ang tag-auban, nawad ang trabaho. Other than that, siguro if walay COVID, it could be we lost our job because we got sick for a critical illness, kanang mga malala, say Bisayas malala. Grabe nga mga sakit like cancer or heart attack or maaksidente ta. No one knows, no one holds the future. Wala kita kabaw what will happen to us, and these things are sometimes we don't talk about because these are things that we don't have control of. Pero these are realities of life. I mean, they happen regardless of your age, regardless of what you believe in life. Kung sikat ka, artista ka, pobre ka, dato ka, it's a common denominator. Like it's a grounding, kapoy pang bright. Mo siya, di ba? It happens to everyone. Wala exempted. God is really fair nga. Everyone, three things. Everyone gets sick. We all meet an accident. We get old. Or even, we all die. I mean, kung anong siya, guys? Reality check. I mean, we can't, because all we see is, ang atong expectations of our goals is, if you have a goal of sending your kids to good school, mauro sa mo manunaan, pero along the way, you don't realize in reality there are things that would hinder you from getting there. I mean, and those things that we just mentioned, diba? Ang one thing lang yun, guys, nga dapat para makaadto ta sa atong goal is, of course, we have to have the income, the money. Kaya kung wala tayo kwarta, we don't have any income, so how do we save, diba? And yes, sometimes for most of us, mangita kwarta, we have our work, we have monthly salary. Sometimes for most of us, ang atuang concept or the formula that we have, which this would lead us to the first tip na atuang i-share karon, is we have a wrong formula of getting into successful saving. Ang atuang when we receive our income, we then allot it directly or immediately to our expenses. And then kung unsa magay sobra, kung naa man gani, or kung wala, edi wala. Kung naa, nagkamayasad kayo. That's the typical Filipino mindset of saving. But the ideal one, the good is that when we receive our income, we have to immediately allot 20% of it sa savings. Because we have to make sure na we get into the habit of forced savings. Kaya kung kita-kita naman good ang mag-save, there's tendencies good nga we get to spend it, mag-save na sagbalik, and spend it again, and it's just a roller coaster way of saving, and it's not a good way of saving. It will not lead you to achieving your goals. So, mga gina siya, guys. Second tip is budgeting plan and stick to it. Um, we really have to get into the habit of listing down the things that we will buy, the things that the expenses that we have. Ang formula daw, kisa man nagsulti ang formula for budgeting is that when we receive our income, we allot only 70% to our expenses, 20% goes to our savings, and 10% would be for our own personal consumption or for our own personal mga wants, like buying a new phone, travel. Not ako personally, siguro that will go to my hobbies like painting, buying art materials, and all of that. Yeah, 20% goes to savings. So muna siya guys. So if you can compute now very quickly, kung bright mong math, mata-mata lang mo, 70% of, let's just say 20% is blah blah blah, I don't know, but you have calculators there, just compute it. So 70% of 20,000, limpyo na siya, net na siya, net wage. So that will muna imong i-budget. Yeah, when you look at your expenses, you have to divide it into two. It could either be a fixed one or a variable. When you say fixed nga expenses, these are dili siya mo sab, like kanang bayad sa kuryente, renta if you're renting, what else. Variable is kanang ma-control na to ba? We have control over it, like the groceries, the electric bill. Ang ato ang third nga tip guys is, of course, you have to set your monthly goal. So from there, kung makita na nato, if we see that naali tayo much, we've computed na 20% of our salary, kay this should go to our savings, and if we can really commit to it, nga you can put it into your emergency fund, then do so. I mean, stick to it. Ayun na pag other reason, kasi sometimes what will tempt us from really spending the savings that we have, kaya kanang magpaduol sa tas-temptasyon. We go to malls, we sometimes lagi na tutag mall, then natay ganang paliton, but then we decided not to buy it, but then paggawas nato sa mall, ipay kay takay, wala nakagasto, but then nakaagita og Starbucks, then may pila naman ng Starbucks. I mean, I can spend 200 pesos. Itong nato ko pa itong sa mall, it was worth 1,000 or 2,000. What's 200 equivalent to 2,000? So guys, may gana nga mga mindset mga, make sure nga you don't reason out, don't find a way nga makagasto ka, way nga you can really list down the expenses that you have for the month and stick to it, stick to your budget plan, and you'll realize nga it's worth it, nga murag you'll be better off if you do that. The fourth tip that I can give you, increase your source of income. Okay, if you're just relying on one source of income, and it's not really enough, because naman sa tayo mga luho nga we have to also suffice kaya ato ang ganahan nga paliton ba personal ato nga wants. Then if you want to really reward yourself, then find a way nga you can also look for another source of income. Like me now, I'm working full-time as a financial advisor na, since may talent kamay sa painting, then I'm doing commission paintings, sa ginagmay lang sa, or karon daghan kayo mga online sellers, kung saan nila pamaligya. And if you think na murag wakay talent or wakay skill, try to learn one. I mean, na YouTube karon na you can just follow the instructions, follow the tutorials, and so pag yung nana, then by all means do it. I mean, it's high time for us to really to have another source of income. Kanang mga online jobs, like you can go to Upwork or Fiverr and create your account there, and then look for something. Murag na may mga jobs there that you can be data encoder or whatnot. kana. And lastly guys, last and very importantly good, last step is to decide now. There's no better way, there's no other way, there's no way for you to start. Don't procrastinate, don't fall into that trap again. Unya-unya na lang. Do it now. I mean, start by listing down, start by budgeting, computing how much is 20% dapat sa savings, and then again, buwan COVID. No, joking. Mas ko today. Kapuya yung story ako rin eh. That's it for now guys. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you think this is helpful, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hope you do, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!